Alex, drop your email in the chat. I have it pulled up in email, so I can just forward it to you real quick.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, let me know when you got that, Alex.
Sure, we'll do.
All right, we are recording, and I believe yes, it is live. So welcome to the Instant Shakespeare Company and Molière Rendezvous reading of Scapin. I'm Paul Sugarman of the Instant Shakespeare Company, and over to you, Simone, to introduce and start with this reading of Scapin.
Right. So bonjour, we are Instant Molière Rendezvous, and we are this afternoon performing Scapin by Molière. It premiered in 1671 at the Palais Royal in Paris, and we are using the translation that's in the public domain by Charles Harn Wall. We will first introduce the characters. We will start with Derek.
Okay, my name is Derek Tarson, and I am playing Scapin.
And Leah.
Hi, my name is Leah Schwartz, and I'm playing Hyacintha.
Paula.
I'm Paula Hoza, and I am playing Madame Jeronté.
Tony.
Hey, welcome. I'm Tony Scheinman. I'm the reader of acts, and I'm also playing the part of Carlo.
Drew.
I'm Drew Bolander, and I'm reading the part of Octavo.
Alana.
Hello, I'm Elena Rader playing Zerbinetta.
Alexander.
I'm Alexander Chilton. I'm reading the part of Leandro.
And Angus.
Hi, Angus Hepburn from London, reading who?
You're reading Silvestro.
Silvestro and
Silvestro.
Nerina.
There we go. And I am Simone Coonrod. I am reading Madame Aganté. And here we go. So the scene is set in Napoli.
And don't forget to turn off your videos and your mics when you're not in scene. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get going. We are now in Napoli. It is Act 1. Enter Octavo and Silvestro.
Oh, what sad news for one in love. What a hard fate to be reduced to. So, Silvestro, you have heard that at the harbor that my mother is coming back.
Oh, yes.
That she returns this very morning.
This very morning.
With the intention of marrying me.
Of marrying you.
To the daughter of Madame Jeronté.
Oh, Madame Jeronté.
And that this daughter is on her way from Tarentum for that purpose?
For that purpose.
And you've heard this news from my uncle?
From your uncle.
To whom my mother has given all these particulars in a letter?
In a letter.
And this uncle, you say, knows all about our doings?
Oh, all our doings.
Oh, speak, I pray you. Don't go on in such a way as that and force me to wrench everything from you word by word.
But what is the use of my speaking? You don't forget one single detail, but state everything exactly as it is.
At least advise me and tell me what I ought to do in this wretched business.
I really feel as much perplexed as you, and I myself need the advice of someone to guide me.
Oh, I am undone by this unforeseen return.
And I, no less.
When my mother hears what has taken place, a storm of reprimands will burst upon me.
Oh, reprimands are not very heavy to bear, but I would to heaven I were free at that price. But I'm very likely to pay dearly for all your wild doings, and I see a storm of blows ready to burst upon my shoulders.
Oh, heavens, how am I to get clear of all the difficulties that beset my path?
You should have thought of that before entering upon it.
Oh, don't come plague me to death with your unreasonable lectures.
Oh, you plague me much more by your foolish deeds.
What am I to do? What steps must I take? What course of action have recourse?
Enter Scapin.
How now, Mr. Octavo? What is the matter with you? What is it? What trouble are you in? You were all upset, I see.
Oh, my dear Scapin, I am in despair. I am lost. I am the most unfortunate of mortals.
How was that?
Don't you know anything that has happened to me?
No.
My mother is just returning with Madame Jeronté, and they want to marry me.
Well, what is there so dreadful about that?
Alas, you don't know the cause that I have to be anxious.
No, but it only depends upon you that I should soon know, as I am a man of consolation, a man who can interest himself in the troubles of young people.
Oh, Scapin, if you could find some scheme, invent some plot to get me out of the trouble I am in, I should think myself indebted to you more than life.
To tell you the truth, there are few things impossible to me when once I set upon them. Heaven has bestowed on me a fair enough share of genius for the making up of all those neat strokes of mother wit, for all those ingenious gallantries to which the ignorant and vulgar give the name of imposture. And I can boast, without vanity, that there have been very few men more skillful than I in expedients and intrigues, and who have acquired a greater reputation in the noble profession. But to tell the truth, merit is too ill rewarded nowadays, and I have given up everything of the kind since the trouble I had was an affair which happened to me.
How? What affair, Scapin?
An adventure in which justice and I fell out.
Justice and you?
Yes, we had a trifling quarrel.
You and Justice?
Yes, she used me very badly, and I felt so enraged against the ingratitude of our age that I determined never to do anything for anybody. But never mind. Tell me about yourself, all the same.
You know, Scapin, that 2 months ago, Madame Jeronté and my mother set out together on a voyage about a certain business in which they are both interested?
Yes, I know that.
And that both Leandro and I were left by our respective mothers, I under the management of Silvestro, and Leandro under your management.
Yes, I've acquitted myself very well, my friend.
Sometimes afterwards, Leandro met with a gypsy girl with whom he fell in love.
I know that too.
As we are great friends, he told me once of his love and took me to see this young girl, whom I thought very good looking, it is true, but not so beautiful that as he would have me believe. He never spoke of anything but her at every opportunity. He exaggerated her grace and her beauty, extolled her intelligence, spoke to me with transport of the charms of her conversation, and related to me her most insignificant saying, which he always wanted me to think was the cleverest thing in the world. He often found fault with me for not thinking as highly as he imagined I ought to do of the things he related to me, and blamed me again and again for being so insensible to the power of love.
I do not see what you are aiming at all this.
One day, as I was going with him to the people who have charge of the girl with whom he was in love, we heard in a small house on a by-street lamentations mixed with a good deal of sobbing. We inquired what it was, and were told by a woman that we might see there the most piteous sight in the persons of two strangers. Unless we were quite insensible to pity, we should be sure to be touched with it.
Where will this lead to?
Curiosity made me urge Leandro to come with me. We went into a low room, and we saw an old woman dying, and with her a servant who was uttering lamentations, and a young girl dissolved in tears, the most beautiful, the most touching sight I ever saw. Any other person would have seemed frightful in the condition she was in, for all the dress she had on was a scanty old petticoat with a night jacket of plain fustian, and turned back at the top of her head a yellow cap, which let her hair fall in disorder on her shoulders. And yet, dressed even thus, she shone with 1,000 attractions, and all her person was most charming and pleasant.
I begin to understand.
Oh, had you but seen her, Scapin, as I did, you would have thought her admirable.
Oh, and I have no doubt about it. And without seeing her, I plainly perceived that she must have been altogether charming.
Oh, her tears were none of those unpleasant tears which spoil the face. She had a most touching grace in weeping, and her sorrow a most beautiful thing to witness.
I can see all that.
Oh, all who approached her burst into tears just while she threw herself in her loving way on the body of the dying woman whom she called her dear mother. And nobody could help being moved to the depths of the heart to see the girl with such a loving disposition.
Yes, and all that is very touching, and I understand that this loving disposition made you love her.
Oh, Scapin, a savage would have loved her.
Certainly. How could anyone help doing so?
After a few words, with which I tried to soothe her grief, we left her. And when I asked Leandro what he thought of her, he answered coldly that she was rather pretty. I was wounded to find how unfeeling he spoke to me of her, and I would not tell him the effect of her beauty had had on my heart.
Look, if you don't abridge that story, we'll be stuck here till tomorrow. Leave it to me to finish it in a few words. His heart takes fire from that moment. He cannot live without going to comfort the amiable and sorrowful girl. His frequent visits are forbidden by the servant, who has become a guardian by the death of her mother. Our young man is in despair. He presses, begs, beseeches, all in vain. He's told that the young girl, although without friends and without fortune, is of an honorable family, and that unless he marries her, he must cease his visits. His love increases with the difficulties. He racks his brains, debates, reasons, ponders, and makes up his mind. And to cut a long story short, he has been married these 3 days.
I see.
Now, add to this the unforeseen return of the mother, who is not to be back before 2 whole months, the discovery which the uncle has made of the marriage, and that other marriage projected between him and a daughter of which Madame Jeronté had by her first husband, whom they say she married at Tarentum.
And above all, add also the poverty of my beloved and the impossibility there is for me to do anything for her relief.
Is that all? You are both at a great loss about nothing. Is there any reason to be alarmed? Are you not ashamed, you, Silvestro, to fall short in such a small matter? Deuce take it all. You, big and stout as father and mother put together, you can't find any expedient in your noddle? You can't plan any stratagem, invent any gallant intrigue to put matters straight? Fie, plague on the booby. I wish I had the 2 old ladies to bamboozle in former times. I should not have thought much about it. And I was no bigger than that when I had given 100 delicate proofs of my skill.
I acknowledge heaven has not given me your talent, and that I have not the brains like you to embroil myself with justice.
Here is my lovely Hyacintha.
Enter Hyacintha.
Octave, is what Silvestro has just told Nerina really true? Is your mother back, and is she bent upon marrying you?
Yes, it is so, my dear Hyacintha, and these tidings have given me a cruel shock. What do I see? You are weeping. Why those tears? Do you suspect me of unfaithfulness, and have you no assurance that of the love I feel for you?
Yes, Octave, I am sure that you love me now, but how can I be sure that you will love me always?
Could anyone love you once without loving you forever?
I have heard say, Octave, that your sex does not love so long as ours, and that the ardor men show is a fire which dies out as easily as it is kindled.
Then, my dear Hyacintha, my heart is not like that of other men, and I feel certain I shall love you till I die.
I want to believe what you say, and I have no doubt that you are sincere, but I fear a power which will oppose in your heart the tender feelings you have for me. You depend on a mother who would marry you to another, and I am sure it would kill me if such a thing happened.
No, lovely Hyacintha, there is no mother who can force me to break my faith with you, and I could resolve to leave my country, or even to die rather than be separated from you. Without having seen her, I have already conceived a horrible aversion to her who they want me to marry. And though I am not cruel, I wish the sea would swallow her up or drive her hence forever. Oh, do not weep then, dear Hyacintha, for your tears kill me, and I cannot see them without feeling pierced to the heart.
Since you wish it, I will dry my tears, and I will wait without fear for what heaven will decide.
Heaven will be favorable to us.
It cannot be against us if you are faithful.
I certainly shall be so.
Then I shall be happy.
She is not so bad after all, and I think her pretty enough.
Here is a man, if he would, could be the greatest of help to us in all our trouble.
I have sworn with many oaths never more to meddle with anything. But if you both entreat me very much, I might.
Oh, if entreaties would obtain any help, I beseech you with all my heart to steer our bark.
And have you got anything to say?
Like him, I beseech you by all that is most dear to you upon earth to assist us in our love.
I must have a little humanity and give way. There, don't be afraid. I will do all I can for you.
Oh, be sure that
Hush.
whatever...
Go, make yourself easy.
And Hyacintha exits.
You must prepare yourself to receive your mother with firmness.
Oh, I confess this meeting frightens me beforehand. For with her, I have a natural shyness that I cannot conquer.
Yes, you must be firm from the first, for fear that she should take advantage of your weakness and lead you like a child. Now, try to school yourself with some amount of firmness and be ready to answer boldly all she can say to you.
I'll do the best I can.
Well, let us try a little just to see. Rehearse your part and let us see how you will manage. Come, a look of decision, your head erect, bold face.
Like this?
A little more.
So?
That will do. Fancy that I am your mother, just arrived. Answer me boldly as if it were she herself. What, you scoundrel, you good-for-nothing fellow, you infamous rascal, unworthy son of such a mother as I, dare you appear before me after what you have done, and after the infamous trick you have played me during my absence? Is this, you rascal, the reward of all my care? Is this the fruit of all my devotion? Is this the respect due to me? Is this the respect you retain for me? Now then, you are insolent enough, scoundrel, to go and engage yourself without the consent of your mother and contract a clandestine marriage. Answer me, you villain, answer me. Let me hear your fine reasons. Why the deuce, you seem quite lost.
It's because I imagine that I hear my mother speaking.
Why, yes, and it is for this reason you must try to look not like an idiot.
I will be more resolute, and I will answer more firmly.
Quite sure?
Oh, here's your mother coming.
Oh, heavens, I'm lost.
And Octavo runs off.
Stop, Octavo, stop! He's off. What a poor specimen it is. Let's wait for the old lady all the same.
What shall I tell her?
Leave her to me, only follow me.
Madame Aganté enters and, thinking herself alone, does not notice Scapin and Silvestro standing there.
Did anyone ever hear of such an action?
She's already heard of the affair, and she's so struck by it that although alone, she speaks aloud about it.
Such a bold thing to do.
Let us listen to her.
I should like to know what they can say to me about this fine marriage.
We have it already.
Will they try to deny it?
No, we have never thought of doing so.
Or will they undertake to excuse it?
Well, that may be.
Do they intend to deceive me with impertinent stories?
Maybe.
All they say will be useless.
We shall see.
They will not take me in.
I don't know that.
I shall know how to put my rascal of a son in a safe place.
We shall see about that.
And as for the rascal Silvestro, I will cudgel him soundly.
Huh? I would have been very astonished if she had forgotten me.
Ah, there you are, most wise governor of family, fine director of young people.
Madam, I am delighted to see you back.
Good morning, Scapin. And you, Silvestro, you have really followed my orders in a fine manner, and my son has behaved splendidly.
You are quite well, I see.
Pretty well. You don't say a word, you rascal.
Have you had a pleasant journey?
Yes, very good. Leave me alone to scold this villain.
You want to scold?
Yes, I wish to scold.
But who, ma'am?
This scoundrel.
Why?
Have you not heard what has taken place during my absence?
Oh, yes, I've heard some trifling thing.
How such trifling thing? Such an action as this.
You are about right.
Such a daring thing to do.
Oh, that's quite true.
To marry without his mother's consent.
Yes, there is something to be said against it, but my opinion is that you should make no fuss about it.
That is your opinion, but not mine. And I will make as much fuss as I please. What? Do you not think I have every reason to be angry?
Oh, quite so. I was angry about it myself when I first heard about it, and I felt so far interested in your behalf that I rated your son well. Just ask him the fine sermons I gave him and how I lectured him about the little respect that he showed his mother, whose very footsteps he ought to kiss. You could not talk better to him. But what of that? I submitted to reason and considered that, after all, he had done nothing so dreadful.
What are you telling me? He has done nothing so dreadful. When he goes and marries straight off a perfect stranger.
What can one do? He was urged to it by destiny.
Oh, you give me there a fine reason. One has nothing better to do than to commit the greatest crime imaginable, to cheat, steal, murder, and give for an excuse that we were urged to by destiny.
Oh, me? You take my words too much like a philosopher. I mean to say that he was fatally engaged in this affair.
And why did he engage in it?
Do you expect him to be as wise as you are? Can you put an old head on young shoulders and expect young people to have all the prudence necessary to do nothing but what is reasonable? Just look at our Leandro, who, in spite of all my lessons, has done even worse than that. I should like to know whether you yourself were not young once and have not played as many pranks as others. I've heard you say that you were a sad maiden in your time, that you played the gallant among the most gallant in those days, and that you never gave in until you had gained your point.
It is true, I grant it, but I always confined myself to gallantry and never went so far as to do what he has done.
But what was he to do? He sees a young person who wishes him well, for he inherits it from you that all women love him. He thinks her charming, goes to see her, makes love to her, sighs as lovers sighs, and as does the passionate swain. She yields to his pressing visits. He pushes his fortune, but her relations catch him with her and oblige him to marry her by main force.
What a great cheat!
Would you have him suffer them to murder him? Is it still better to be married? It is still better to be married.
I was not told the thing that happened that way.
Oh, ask him if you like. He will tell you the same thing.
Was he married against his wish?
Oh, yes, madam.
Do you think I would tell you an untruth?
Then he should have gone at once to a lawyer to protest against the violence.
Oh, it is the very thing he would not do.
It would have been much easier for me to break off the marriage.
Break off the marriage?
Yes.
You will not break it off.
I shall not break it off.
No.
What? Have I not on my side the rights of a mother? And can I have not the satisfaction for the violence done to my son?
This is a thing he will not consent to.
He will not consent to it.
No.
My son?
Your son. Would you have him acknowledge that he was frightened, that he yielded by force to what was wanted of him? He will take care not to confess it, and it would be to wrong himself and to show him unworthy of a mother like you.
I don't care for all that.
He must, for his honor and yours, say that he married of his own free will.
And I wish for my own honor and for his that he should say the contrary.
I'm sure he will not do that.
I shall soon make him do it.
He will not acknowledge it, I tell you.
He shall do it, or I shall disinherit him.
You?
I.
Nonsense.
How nonsense?
You will not disinherit him.
I shall not disinherit him.
No.
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 Well, this is really too much. I shall not disinherit my son.
No, I tell you.
Who will hinder me?
You yourself?
I?
Yes. You will never have the heart to do it.
I shall have the heart.
You are joking.
I am not joking.
Maternal love will carry the day.
No, it will not.
Yes, yes.
I tell you that I will disinherit him.
Rubbish.
You may say rubbish, but I will.
Gracious me, I know you are naturally a kind-hearted woman.
No, I am not kind-hearted. I can be angry when I choose. Leave off talking. You put me out of all patience. And Silvestro, you rascal, run and fetch my son. Will I go to Madame Jeronté and tell her of my misfortune?
Madam, if I can be useful to you in any way, you have but to order me.
I thank you. Why is he my only son? Oh, I wish that I had met with me my daughter that heaven had taken away from me, so I might make her my heir.
And exit Madame Aganté.
You are a great man, I must confess, and things are in a fair way to succeed. But on the other hand, we are greatly pressed for money, and we have people dunning us.
Leave it to me. The plan is all ready. I am only puzzling my brains to find out a fellow to act along with us in order to play a personage I want. And let me see. Just look at me a little. Stick out your cap rather rakishly on one side. Put on a furious look. Put your hand on one side. Walk about like a king on the stage. Yes, that will do. Follow me. I possess some means of changing your face and voice.
Oh, I pray you, Scapin, don't go and embroil me with justice.
Never mind, we share our perils like brothers, and 3 years more or less on the galleys are not sufficient to check a noble heart.
And exit Scapin and Silvestro. So we end the Acto 1. Acto 2 begins with Madame Aganté and Madame Jeronté entering in conversation.
Yes, there is no doubt but that with this weather we shall have our people with us today. And a sailor who has arrived from Tarentum told me just now that he has seen our man about to start with the ship. But my daughter's arrival will find things strangely altered from what we thought they would be, and what you have just told me of your son has put an end to all the plans we'd made together.
Don't be anxious about that. I give you my word that I shall remove that obstacle, and I'm going to see about it at this moment.
In all good faith, Madame Aganté, shall I tell you what? The education of children is a thing that one could never be too careful about.
You are right, but why do you say that?
Because most of the follies of young men come from the way they have been brought up by their mothers.
So sometimes, certainly. What do you mean by saying that to me?
Why do I say that to you?
Yes.
Because if, like a courageous mother, you'd corrected your son when he was young, he would not have played you such a trick.
I see. So that you have
Well, certainly.
corrected your own better?
Yes, and I should be very sorry if he'd done anything at all like what yours has done.
That's son. So well brought up, would you say?
What?
What?
What do you mean?
I mean, Madame Jeronté, that we shall never be so ready to blame the conduct of others, and that those who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
I really do not understand you.
I will explain myself.
Have you heard anything about my son?
Perhaps I have.
But what?
Your servant Scapin, as if vexation, only told me the thing roughly, and you can learn all about the particulars from him or someone else, and see what steps I can take in the matter. Goodbye.
And exit Madame Argante.
What can it be? Worse than what her son has done? I am sure I don't know what anyone can do more wrong than that. And to marry without the consent of one's mother it's the worst thing I can possibly imagine.
Enter Leandro at the run.
Ah, here you are.
Oh, Mother, how glad I am to see you.
Stay. I have to speak to you first.
Allow me to embrace you and...
Gently, I tell you.
How, Mother, you deprived me of the pleasure of showing you my joy at your return.
Certainly. We have something to settle, first of all.
But what?
Oh, just stand there before me and let me look at you.
What for?
Look me straight in the face.
Well?
Will you tell me what has taken place here in my absence?
What has taken place?
Yes. What did you do while I was away?
What would you have me do, Mother?
It is not I who wanted you to do anything, but who ask you now what it is you did.
I have done nothing to give you any reason to complain.
Nothing at all?
No.
You speak in a very decided tone.
It is because I am innocent.
And yet, Scapin has told me all about you.
Scapin?
Ah, ha, that name makes you change color.
He has told you something about me?
He has, but this is not the place to talk about the business, and we must go elsewhere to see to it. Go home at once. I'll be there presently. Scoundrel, you mean to bring dishonor upon me. I will renounce you for my son, and you will have to avoid my presence forever.
And Madame Jeronté storms off.
To betray me after that fashion. A rascal who for so many reasons should be the first to keep the secret whom I trust him with. To go and tell everything to my mother? Ah, I swear by all this that is dear to me, not to let such a villainy go unpunished.
Enter Scapin and Octavo.
My dear Scapin, what do I not owe you? What a wonderful man you are, and how kind of heaven to send you to my help.
Here you are, you rascal.
Sir, your servant, you do me too much honor.
You are setting me at defiance, I believe. I will teach you now.
Sir.
Leandro.
No, Octavo, do not keep me back.
Oh, sir.
For mercy's sake.
Leave me to wreak my anger upon him.
In the name of friendship, Leandro, do not strike him.
What have I done to you, sir?
What you have done, you scoundrel?
Oh, gently, gently.
No, Octavo. I will have him confess here on the spot the perfidy of which he is guilty. Yes, scoundrel, I know the trick you have played upon me. I've just been told of it. You did not think that the secret would be revealed to me, did you? But I will have you confess it with your own lips, or I will run you through and through with my sword.
Ah, sir, could you really be so cruel as that?
Speak, I say.
I have done something against you, sir?
Yes, scoundrel, and your conscience must tell you only too well what it is.
I assure you, I do not know what you mean.
You do not know?
Leandro.
Well, sir, since you will have it, I confess that I drank with some of my friends that small cask of Spanish wine you received as a present some days ago, and that it was I who made that opening in the cask and spilled some water on the ground round it to make you believe that the wine had leaked out.
What? You drank my Spanish wine? And you suffered me to scold my servant so much because I thought it was she who played me that trick?
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry, sir.
I am glad to know this, but that is not what I'm about now.
It is not that, sir?
No, it is something else, for which I care much more, and I will have you tell it to me.
I do not remember, sir, that I did anything else.
Will you not speak?
Gently.
Yes, sir. It is true that 3 weeks ago, when you sent me in the evening to take a small watch to the gypsy girl you love, and I came back, my clothes spattered with mud and my face covered with blood, I told you I had been attacked by robbers who beat me soundly and had stolen the watch from me. It is true that I told a lie. It was I who kept the watch, sir.
It was you who stole the watch?
Yes, sir. In order to know the time.
Ah! You're telling me fine things. I have indeed a very faithful servant, but it is not this that I want to know of you.
It is not this?
No, infamous wretch! It is something else that I want you to confess.
Mercy on me.
Speak at once. I will not be put off.
Sir, I have done nothing else.
Nothing else?
I beg you.
Well, sir, you remember that ghost that 6 months ago cudgeled you soundly and almost made you break your neck down a cellar where you fell running away?
Well?
It was I, sir, who was playing the ghost.
It was you, wretch, who were playing the ghost!
Only to frighten you a little and to cure you of the habit of making us go out every night as you did.
I will remember in proper time and place all I have just heard, but I have you speak about the present matter and tell me what it is you said to my mother.
What I said to your mother?
Yes, scoundrel, to my mother.
Why, I have not seen her since her return.
You've not seen her?
No, sir.
Is it the truth?
The perfect truth, and she shall tell you so herself.
And yet it was she herself who told me?
With your leave, sir, she did not tell you the truth.
Carlo runs in. Signor, I bring you very bad news concerning your love affair.
What is it now?
The gypsies are on the point of carrying off Zerbinetta. She came herself all in tears to ask me that unless you take to them before 2 hours are over, the money they have asked you for her, she will be lost to you forever.
2 hours?
2 hours, signor. And Carlo runs off.
My dear Scapin, I pray you help me.
My dear Scapin, I am my dear Scapin, now that I am wanted.
I will forgive you all that you confessed just now and more also.
No, forgive me nothing. Run your sword through my body. I should be perfectly satisfied if you were to kill me.
I beseech you rather to give me life by serving my love.
Nay, better kill me.
You are too dear to me to that. I beg you to make use for me of the wonderful genius of yours which can conquer everything.
Certainly not. Kill me, I tell you.
For mercy's sake, don't think of that now, but try to give me the help I ask.
Scapin, you must do something to help him.
How can I, after such abuse?
I beseech you to forget my outburst of temper and to make use of your skill for me.
I add my entreaties to his.
I cannot forget such an insult.
You must not give way to resentment, Scapin.
Could you forsake me, Scapin, in this cruel extremity?
To come all of a sudden and insult me like that?
I was wrong. I acknowledge.
To call me scoundrel, knave, infamous wretch.
I am really very sorry.
To wish you send your sword through my body.
I ask you to forgive me with all my heart. And if you want to see me at your feet, I beseech you, kneeling, not to give me up.
Scapin, you cannot resist that.
Well, get up. And another time, remember not to be so hasty.
Will you try to act for me?
I will see.
But you know that time presses.
Don't be anxious. How much is it that you want?
500 crowns.
You, Octavo?
200 pistoles?
I must extract this money from your respective mother's pockets. Octavo, as far as yours is concerned, my plan is all ready. Leandro, and as for yours, although she is the greatest miser imaginable, we shall find it easier still. You know, she is not blessed with too much intellect, and I look upon her as a woman who will believe anything. Well, this cannot offend you. There's not a suspicion of resemblance between you and her, and you know what the world thinks, that she is your mother only in name.
Gently,
Besides, what does it matter? But Mr. Octavo, I see your mother coming. Let us begin by her, since she is the first to cross our path. Vanish, both of you. And Octavo, please tell Silvestro to come quickly and take his part in the affair.
Octavo and Leandro exit in haste as Madame Argante enters.
Here she is, turning it over in her mind.
Such behavior and such lack of consideration to entangle himself in engagement like that. Rash.
Your servant, sir.
Good morning, Scapin.
You are thinking of your son's conduct?
Yes, I acknowledge that it grieves me deeply.
Ah, madam, life is full of troubles and we should always be prepared for them. I was told a long time ago the saying of an ancient philosopher, which I have never forgotten.
What was it?
That if the mother of a family has been away from home for ever so short a time, she ought to dwell upon all the sad news that may greet her on her return. She ought to fancy her house burnt down, her money stolen, her husband dead, her son married, her daughter ruined, and be very thankful for whatever falls short in all this. In my small way of philosophy, I have ever taken that lesson to heart, and I never come home, but I expect to have to bear with the anger of my masters, their scoldings, insults, kicks, blows, and horsewhippings. And I always thank my destiny for whatever I do not receive.
That's all very well. But this rash marriage is more than I can put up with, and it forces me to break off the match I intended for my son. I have come from my solicitors to see what we can do if we can cancel it.
Well, madam, if you will take my advice, you will look for some other way of settling this business. You know what a lawsuit means in this country, and you will find yourself in the midst of a strange bush of thorns.
I am fully aware that you are quite right. But what else can I do?
I think I found something that will answer much better. The sorrow I felt for you made me rummage in my head to find some means of getting you out of trouble, for I cannot bear to see kind mothers a prey to grief without feeling sad about it. And beside, I have at all times the greatest regard for you.
I am much obliged to you.
Then you must know that I went to the brother of the young girl whom your son has married. He is one of those fire eaters, one of those men all sword thrusts who speak of nothing but fighting and who think no more of killing a man than of swallowing a glass of wine. I got him to speak of this matter. I showed him how easy it would be to have it broken off because of the violence used towards your son. I spoke to him of your prerogatives as mother and of the weight which your rights, your money, and your friends would have with justice. I managed him so that at last he lent a ready ear to the propositions I made to him of arranging the matter amicably for a sum of money. In short, he will give his consent to the marriage being canceled, provided you pay him well.
And how much did he ask?
Oh, at first, things utterly out of question.
But what?
Things utterly extravagant.
But what?
Oh, he spoke of no less than 500 or 600 pistoles.
500 or 600 pistoles to choke him withal? Does he think me a fool?
Or just what I told him. I laughed at his proposal to scorn and made him understand that you were not a woman to be duped in that fashion, and of whom anyone can ask 500 or 600 pistoles. However, after much talking, this is what we decided upon. The time is now come, he said, when I must go and rejoin the army. I am buying my equipments, and the want of money I am in forces me to listen to what you propose. I must have a horse. I cannot obtain one at all fit for the service under 60 pistoles.
Well, yes, I'm willing to give 60 pistoles.
You must have the harness and the pistols, and that will cost very nearly 20 pistoles more.
20 and 60 make 80.
Exactly.
It's a great deal. Still, I consent to that.
He must also have a horse for his servant, which we may expect will cost at least 30 pistoles.
How the deuce? Let him go to Jericho. I shall have nothing at all. Him.
Madam!
No, he's an insolent fellow.
Would you have his servant walk?
Let him get along as he pleases, and the master too.
Now, madam, really, don't go and hesitate for so little. Don't have recourse to law, I beg of you, but rather give all that is asked of you and save yourself from the clutches of justice.
Well, I will bring myself to give those 30 pistoles also.
I must also have, he said, a mule to carry.
Let him go to the devil with a mule. This is asking too much. We will go before the judges.
I beg of you, madam.
No, I will not give
Madam,
in.
Only one small mule.
No, not even an ass.
Consider.
No, I tell you, I prefer going to law.
Ah, madam, what are you talking about? And what a resolution you are going to take. Just cast a glance at the ins and outs of justice. Look at the number of appeals, of stages of jurisdiction, how many embarrassing procedures, how many ravening wolves through whose claws you will have to pass, sergeants, solicitors, counsel, registrars, substitutes, recorders, judges, and their clerks. There is not one of these who, for the merest trifle, couldn't knock over the best case in the world. A sergeant will issue false writs without you knowing anything about it. Your solicitor will act in concert with your adversary and sell you for ready money. Your counsel, bribed in the same way, will be nowhere to be found when your case comes on, or else will bring forward arguments which are the merest shooting in the air and will never come to the point. The registrar will issue writs and decrees against you for contumacy. The recorder's clerk will make away with some of your papers, or the instructing officer himself will not say what he has seen, and when, by dint of the wariest possible precautions, you have escaped all these traps, you will be amazed that your judges have been set against you either by bigots or by the women they love. Ah, madam, save yourself from such a hell if you can. 'Tis damnation in this world to have to go to law, and the mere thought of a lawsuit is enough to drive me to the other end of the world.
How much does he want for the mule?
For the mule, for the horse, and that of his servant, for the harness and pistols, to pay a little something he owes at the hotel, he asks altogether 200 pistoles. $200 pistoles? Yes.
No, we will go to law.
Recollect what you were doing.
I shall go to law.
Don't go and expose yourself to...
I will go to law.
But to go to law, you need money. You must have money for the summons. You must have money for the rolls, for prosecution, attorney's introduction, solicitor's advice, evidence and his days in court. You must have money for the consultations and the pleadings of counsel, for the right of withdrawing the briefs, and for engrossed copies of the documents. You must have money for the reports of the substitutes, for the court fees at the conclusion, for registrar's enrollment, drawing up of deeds, sentences, decrees, rolls, signings, and clerks' dispatches, letting alone all the presents you will have to make. Give this money to the man, and there you are well out of the whole thing.
$200 pistoles.
Yes, and you will save by it. I have made a small calculation in my head of all the justice costs, and I find that by giving 200 pistoles to your man, you will have a large margin left, say at least 150 pistoles, without taking into consideration cares, troubles, and anxieties which you can spare yourself. For were it only to avoid being before everybody the butt of some facetious counsel, I had rather give 300 pistoles than go to law.
I don't care for that. I challenge all the lawyers to say anything against me.
You do as you please, but in your place, I would avoid a lawsuit.
I will never give 200 pistoles.
Here's our man.
And Silvestro enters, disguised as a person of importance and armed to the teeth. Aganté immediately hides behind Scapin.
Scapin, show me that Aganté who is the father of Octavo.
What for, sir?
Well, I have just been told that he wants to go to law with me and to have my sister's marriage annulled.
I don't know if such is her intention, but she won't consent to give the 200 pistoles you asked. She says it's too much.
No, death, blood. But if I can find him, I'll make mincemeat of him, where I can be broken alive on the wheel afterwards.
Madame Aganté, hiding behind Scapin, trembles in fear.
Sir, the mother of Octavo is brave, but and perhaps she will not be afraid of you.
No, will she not? Blood, stit. If she were here, I would in a moment run my sword through her body. Who is that woman?
She's not the woman, sir. She's not the one.
Is he one of her friends?
No, sir. On the contrary, she's his greatest enemy.
Oh, his greatest enemy.
Yes.
Ah, soon. I am delighted at it. You are an enemy of that scoundrel Aganté, are you?
Yes, I assure you that it is so.
Oh, shake hands, shake hands. I give you my word, I swear upon my honor, by the sword I wear, by all the oaths I can take, that before this day is over, I shall have delivered you of that rascally knave, of that scoundrel Aganté. Trust me.
But, sir, violent deeds are not allowed in this country.
I do not care, and I have nothing to lose.
She will certainly take her precautions. She has relations, friends, servants who will take her part against you.
Blood and thunder. It is all I ask, all I ask. Death, blood. Why can I not meet her at this very moment with all these relations and friends of hers? If she would only appear before me surrounded by a score of them, why do they not fall upon me, arms in hand? What? You villain, you dare to attack me? Now, death, kill and slay.
And he lunges out on all sides as if he were attacking many people at once.
No quarter, lay on, thrust firm again, eye and foot. Ha! Knaves and rascals. You shall have a taste of it. I'll give you your fill. Come on, you rebel, come on. That's what you want, you there. You shall have your fill of it. I say stick to it, you brute, stick to it. Now then, parry, now then, you. Hey, parry this, parry. You draw back. Stand firm, man. Stiff. What? I never filch, I say.
Sir, we will have nothing to do with it.
That will teach you to trifle with me.
And Silvestro exits, cutting and slashing and looking for his foe.
Well, madam, You see how many people are killed for 200 pistoles. Now, I wish you a good morning.
Scapin,
What do you say?
I will give you the 200 pistoles.
I am very glad of it for your sake.
Let us go to him. I have them with me.
I better give them to me. You must not, for your honor, appear in this business now that you have passed for another. And besides, I should be afraid that he would ask you for more if he knew who you were.
True. Still, I should be glad to see to whom I give my money.
Do you mistrust me then?
No, but
Zoons, sir, either I am a thief or I am an honest man. One or the other. You think I would deceive you, and that in all this I have any interest at heart than yours and that of my master whom you want to take into your family? If I have not all your confidence, I will have no more to do with this, and you can look out for somebody else to get you out of this mess.
here then.
No, madam, do not trust your money to me. I would rather you trusted another with your message.
Here, take it.
No, I tell you, do not trust me. Who knows if I do not want to steal your money from you?
Take it, I tell you, and don't force me to ask you again. However, mind you have an acknowledgement from him.
Trust me, he hasn't to do with an idiot.
I will go home and wait for you.
And Madame Aganté rushes off.
I shall be sure to go. Now, that one's all right. Now for the other. Here she is. They are sent one after the other to fall into my net.
Madame Jeronté enters, but although unseen, Scapin knows that she's there.
Oh, heaven! Oh, unforeseen misfortune! Oh, unfortunate mother! Oh, poor Jeronté, what will you do?
What is he saying there with that doleful face?
Can no one tell me where to find Madame Jeronté?
What is the matter, Scapin?
Scapin runs about on the stage, still pretending not to see Madame Jeronté.
Where can I meet her to tell her of this misfortune?
What is the matter?
In vain, I run everywhere to meet her. I cannot find her.
Here I am.
She must have hidden herself in some place which nobody can guess.
What? I say, are you blind? Can't you see me?
Ah, madam, it is impossible to find you.
I've been near you for the last half hour. What is it all about?
Madam.
Well.
Your son, madam.
Well, my son
has met with the strangest misfortune you ever heard of.
What is it?
This afternoon, I found him looking very sad about something which you had said to him and in which you had very improperly mixed my name. While trying to dissipate his sorrow, we went and walked about in the harbor. There, among other things, was to be seen a Turkish galley. A young Turk with a gentlemanly look about him invited us to go in and held out his hand to us. We went in. He was most civil to us, gave us some lunch with the most excellent fruit and the best wine you've ever seen.
What is there so sad about all this?
Oh, wait a minute. It is coming. Whilst we were eating, the galley left the harbor, and when in open sea, the Turk made me go down into a boat and sent me to tell you that unless you sent by me 500 crowns, he would take your son prisoner to Algiers.
What? 500 crowns?
Yes, madam. And moreover, he gave me only 2 hours to find him in.
Oh, the scoundrel of a Turk to murder me in that fashion.
It is for you, madam, to see quickly about the means of saving from slavery a son whom you love so tenderly.
Oh, what the deuce did he go in that galley for?
He had no idea of what would happen.
Go, Scapin, go quickly and tell that Turk that I shall send the police after him.
The police in the open sea? Are you joking?
Oh, what the deuce did he want to go in that galley for?
A cruel destiny will sometimes lead people.
Listen, Scapin, you must act in this the part of a faithful servant.
How, madam?
You must go and tell that Turk that he must send me back my son, and that you will take his place until I have found the sum that he asks.
Madam, do you know what you are saying? And do you fancy that the Turk will be foolish enough to receive a poor wretch like me in your son's stead?
Oh, what the deuce did he want to go in that galley for?
He could not foresee his misfortune. However, madam, remember that he has only given me 2 hours.
You say that he asks
500 crowns.
500 crowns. Has he no conscience?
Conscience in a Turk?
Does he understand what 500 crowns are?
Yes, madam. He knows that 500 crowns are 1,500 francs.
Does the scoundrel think that 1,500 francs are to be found in the gutter?
Such people will never listen to reason.
Oh, what the deuce did he want to go in that galley for?
Ah, what a waste of words. Leave the galley alone. Remember that time presses and that you are running the risk of losing your son forever. Alas, my poor master, perhaps I shall never see you again. And at this very moment, whilst I am speaking to you, they are taking you away to make a slave of you in Algiers. But heaven is my witness that I did all I could, and that if you are not brought back, it is all owing to the want of love of your mother.
Oh, wait a minute, Scapin. I will go and fetch that sum of money.
Be quick then, for I'm afraid of not being in time.
You said 400 crowns, did you not?
No, 500 crowns.
500 crowns.
Yes.
Oh, what the deuce did he want to go in that galley for?
Right, but be quick.
Oh, could he not have chosen another walk?
It is true, but act promptly.
Cursed galley.
Galley's in my throat.
Here, Scapin, I had forgotten that I have just received this sum of gold, and I had no idea it would so soon be wrenched from me.
Madame Jeronté takes out her purse from her pocket and begins to make as if she were about to give it to Scapin.
You tell that Turk that he is a scoundrel.
Yes.
An infamous wretch.
Yes.
A man without conscience, a thief.
Leave that to me. All right.
Oh, and that if I ever catch him, he will pay for it.
Yes.
Madame Jeronté puts the purse back into her pocket without giving it to Scapin.
Go quickly. Fetch my son.
Hello, madam.
Well?
And the money?
Did I not give it to you?
No, indeed, you put it back in your pocket.
Oh. Well, it's grief which troubles my mind.
Oh, I see.
Oh, what the deuce did he want to go in that galley for? Oh, cursed galley, scoundrel of a Turk, may the devil take you.
And Madame Jeronté exits.
I can't get over the 500 crowns I wrenched from her. But she has not done with me. And I will make her pay in a different money her imposture about me to her son.
Octavo and Leandro enter, much anxious.
Well, Scapin, have your plans been successful?
Have you done anything towards alleviating my sorrow?
But, Octavo, here are the 200 pistoles I've got from your father.
Oh, how happy you make me.
Leandro, I could do nothing for you.
Then I must die, sir, for I could not live without Zerbinetta.
Hello, stop. My goodness, how quick you are.
What can become of me?
There. I have all you want.
Ah, you bring me back to life again.
But I give it to you on only one condition, which is that you will allow me to revenge myself a little on your mother for the trick she has played on me.
You may do as you please.
You promise it to me before witnesses?
Yes.
There. Take these 500 crowns.
Ah! I will go at once and buy her whom I adore.
And they all exit as the curtain falls on Act 2.
5-minute break. So 8:10 will start again.
Det var ikke så dårligt, det der.
Nej, det var da yndigt.
Ja. Har du nogen fornemmelse af, hvor vi er henne, du?
Jeg kender ikke den Lysettevals. For Lysettevals er det jo.
Ja, det er det helt klart.
Enten er den fransk, eller også er den pokkers godt lavet i den franske manier. Ja.
Vi optager lige 2 sekunder.
Is my connection not working properly?
It wasn't before. Just now I can hear you fine.
I see. Am I going in and out?
Yes.
Before,
Okay.
yes, but it's working.
Working now. Okay. All right. Everyone back on stage. All right. Take it away, Tony.
And so the curtain rises on Act 3 of The Impostures of Scapin. Scapin and Silvestro enter, finding Zerbinetta and Hyacintha together.
Silvestro, are you there?
Silvestro, you scandro, are you there?
He seems to have vanished. You want me to take over for him until he gets back?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, your lovers have decided that you should be together, and we are acting according to their orders.
Such an order has nothing in it but what is pleasant to me. I receive such a companion with joy, and it will not be my fault if the friendship which exists between those we love does not exist also between us two.
Accept the offer, and I am not one to draw back when friendship is asked of me.
And when it was love that is asked of you?
Ah, love is a different thing. One runs more risk, and I feel less determined.
You are determined enough against my master, and yet what he has done for you ought to give you confidence enough to respond to his love as you should.
As yet, I only half trust him, and what he has done is not sufficient to reassure me. I am of a happy disposition and am very fond of him, it is true. But though I laugh, I am serious about many things, and your master will find himself deceived if he thinks that is sufficient for me for him to have bought me, for me to be altogether his. He will have to give something else besides money, and for me to answer to his love as he wishes. He must give me his word, with an accompaniment of certain little ceremonies which are thought indispensable.
It is so he understands the matter. He only wants you as his wife, and I am not a man to have mixed in this business if he meant anything else.
I believe it since you say so, but I foresee certain difficulties with the mother.
We shall find a way of settling that.
The similarity of our fate ought to strengthen the tie of friendship between us. We are both subject to the same fears, both exposed to the same misfortune.
You have this advantage, at least, that you know who your parents are, and that sure of their help when you wish to make them known, you can secure your happiness by obtaining a consent to the marriage you've contracted. But I, on the contrary, have no such hope to fall back upon, and the position I am in is little calculated to satisfy the wishes of a mother whose whole care is money.
That is true, but you have this in your favor, that the one you love is under no temptation of contracting another marriage.
A change in a lover's heart is not what we should fear the most. We may justly rely on our own power to keep the conquest we have made. But what I particularly dread is the power of the mothers, for we cannot expect to see them moved by our merit.
Alas, why must the course of true love never run smooth? How sweet it would be to love with no link wanting in those chains which untie two hearts.
How mistaken you are about that. Security in love forms a very unpleasant, calm, constant happiness becomes wearisome. We want ups and downs in life, and the difficulties which generally beset our path in this world revive us and increase our sense of pleasure.
Do tell us, Scapin, all about that stratagem of yours, which I was told is so very amusing, and how you managed to get some money out of your old miser. You know that the trouble of telling me something amusing is not lost upon me, and that I will repay those who take that trouble by the pleasure it gives me.
Silvestro will do that as well as I. I am nursing in my heart a little scheme of revenge, which I mean to enjoy thoroughly.
Why do you recklessly engage in enterprises that may bring you into trouble?
I delight in dangerous enterprises.
As I told you already, you would give up the idea you have if you would listen to me.
I prefer listening to myself.
Why the deuce do you engage in such a business, eh?
Why the deuce do you trouble yourself about it?
It is because I can see that you will, without necessity, bring a storm of blows upon yourself, eh?
Well, it will be on my shoulders and not on yours.
It is true that you are master of your own shoulders and at liberty to dispose of them as you please.
Such dangers never stop me, and I hate those fearful hearts which by dint of thinking of what may happen never undertake anything.
But we shall want you.
Oh, yes, but I shall soon be with you again. It shall never be said that a man has, with impunity, put me into a position of betraying myself and of revealing secrets which it were better should not be known.
And so Silvestro, Hyacintha, and Zerbinetta leave, and Scapin is about to leave when he comes face to face with Madame Jeronté.
Scapin, and how have we succeeded about my son's mischance?
Your son is safe, madam, but you now run the greatest danger imaginable, and I sincerely wish you were safe in your house.
How is that?
While I am speaking to you, there are people who are out looking for you everywhere.
For me?
Yes.
But who?
The brother of that young girl whom Octavo has married. He thinks that you are trying to break off that match because you intend to give your daughter the place she occupies in the heart of Octavo. And he has resolved to wreak his vengeance upon you. All his friends, men of the sword like himself, are out looking for you and are seeking you everywhere. I have met with scores here and there, soldiers of his company who question everyone they meet and occupy in companies all the thoroughfares leading to your house so that you cannot go home either to the right or left without falling into their hands.
Oh, what can I do, my dear Scapin?
I am sure I don't know, madam. It is an unpleasant business. I tremble for you from head to foot. Wait a moment.
Scapin looks around exaggeratedly to see if there is anybody coming while Madame Jeronté trembles in terror.
Well?
No, 'tis nothing.
Oh, could you not find out some means of saving me?
I can indeed think of one. I should run the risk of a sound beating.
Oh, Scapin, show yourself a devoted servant. Do not forsake me, I pray you.
I will do what I can. I feel for you a tenderness which renders it impossible for me to leave you without help.
Be sure that I will reward you for it, Scapin, and I promise you this coat of mine when it is a little more worn.
Wait a minute. I have just thought at the proper moment of the very thing to save you. You must get into this sack. And
Madame Jeronté thinks she sees somebody.
Oh, no. It is nobody. As I was saying, you must get in here and must be very careful not to stir. I will put you on my shoulders and carry you like a bundle of something or other. I shall thus be able to take you through your enemies and see you safe into your house. When there, we will barricade the door and send for help.
A very good idea.
The best possible, you will see. You shall pay me for that lie.
What?
I only say that your enemies shall be finally caught. Get right in at the bottom, and above all things, be careful not to show yourself and not to move, whatever may happen.
You may trust me to keep still.
And Madame Jeronté clambers into the sack and crouches down.
Hide yourself. Here comes one of the bullies. He is looking for you. I shall not have pleasure to kill this Charant, and one will not in charity show me where he is. Do not stir yourself. Halt, you, man with the sack. Sir, I will give thee £1 if you will tell me where this Jeronté is. You're looking for Mr. Jeronté? Yes, that I am. And on what business, sir? Oh, what business? Yes. I will, party, thrash him with one stick to dead. Oh, sir, people like her are not thrashed with sticks, and she is not a woman to be treated so. What? This fab of a Jeronté, this brute, this cat? Madame Jeronté, sir, is neither a fop, a brute, nor a cad, and you ought, if you please, to speak differently. What? You speak so mighty with me? I am defending, as I ought, an honorable woman who is maligned. Are you one friend of this Jeronté? Yes, sir, I am. You are a friend of him? That is good luck. Here is what I give you for him. Oh, sir. Oh, sir, gently, I pray. There, bad that from me. Goodbye. Wretch.
Scapin, I can bear it no longer.
Sir, I am bruised all over, and my shoulders are as sore as can be.
How? It was mine he laid his stick.
I beg your pardon, madam. It was on my back.
What do you mean? I am sure I felt the blows and all I feel them still.
No, I tell you, it was only the end of his stick that reached your shoulder.
You should have gone a little farther back then to spare me.
Scapin immediately pushes Madame Jeronté's head back into the sack.
Take care. Here's another man who looks like a foreigner. Friend, me run la conduction. Me find not all the care. Is truthful. Jeronté. Hide yourself well. Tell me, you, sir, gentlemen, if you please. No, you not where is the Jeronté, but me look for. No, I do not know where Jeronté is. Tell me, truthful, me not want much with him, only to give him 1,000 blows with a stick and 2 or 3 runs with a sword through his chest. I assure you, sir, I know not where he is. It seems to me I see something shake in that sack. But excuse me, sir, I be sure there is something or other in that sack. Oh, not at all, sir. Me should like to give 1 blow of the sword in that sack. Sir, beware, pray you, of doing so. But show me then what to be there. Gently, sir. Why gently? You have nothing to do with what I am carrying. And I will see. You shall not see. But trifling. It is some clothes of mine. Show me then, I tell you. I will not, you will not know. I make you feel this stick upon my shoulders. I don't care. You will pause. Sir, goodbye. It is one little lesson to get you to speak so insolent. Playing the crazy jabber.
My bones are broken.
Oh, I'm dying.
Why the deuce do they strike on my back?
Scapin immediately pushes her head back into the bag.
Take care. I see a half a dozen shoulders coming together. Now we must discover Jeronté. Let us look everywhere carefully. We must have no trouble scouring the town and not for a single spot. Search on all sides. Which way shall we go? Let us go that way. No, on the left. On the right now. Yes. Hide yourself well. Here is his servant. I say, you rascal, you tell me where your master is. Be quick. At once. Make haste. Now. A gentleman, 1 moment.
Madame Jeronté looks quietly out of the opening of the sack and sees that Scapin is tricking her.
If you do not tell us where your master is, we will shout a rain of blows on your back. I had rather suffer anything to tell you where my master is. He will cudgel you soundly. Do as you please. You want to be beaten then? I will never betray my master. You will have it then. Oh!
Scapin is about to strike the bag again when he sees Madame Jeronté looking at him from the open bag. Madame Jeronté starts to get out of the sack and Scapin runs away.
Infamous wretch! Rascal! Scoundrel! It is thus that you murder me?
Zerbinetta enters in a very good humor, but does not see Madame Jeronté at first.
I must really come breathe a little.
I will make you pay for it.
What an amusing story. What a good dupe that old woman is.
This is no matter for laughter. You have no business to laugh at it.
Why? What do you mean, madam?
I mean to say that you ought not to laugh at me.
Laugh at you?
Yes.
How? Who is thinking of laughing at you?
Why do you come and laugh in my face?
This has nothing to do with you. I am only laughing with myself at the remembrance of a story which has just been told to me. The most amusing story in the world. I don't know if it is because I'm interested in the matter, but I never heard anything so absurd as the trick that has just been played by a son to his mother to get some money out of her.
By a son to his mother to get her money out of her?
Yes, and if you are all at all desirous of hearing how it was done, I will tell you the whole affair. I have a natural longing for imparting to others the funny things I know.
Oh, pray, tell me that story.
Willingly. I shall not risk much by telling it to you, for it is an adventure which is not likely to remain secret long. Fate placed me among one of those bands of people who are called gypsies, and who, tramping from province to province, tell you your fortune and do many other things besides. When we came to this town, I met a young man who, on seeing me, fell in love with me. From the moment he followed me everywhere, and like all young men, he imagined he had but to speak and things would go on as he liked. But he met with a pride which forced him to think twice. He spoke of his love to the people in whose power I was and found them ready to give me up for a certain sum of money. But the sad part of the business was that my lover found himself exactly in the same condition as most young men of good family, that is, without any money at all. His mother, although rich, is the veriest old skinflint and greatest miser you ever heard of. Wait a moment, what was her name? I don't remember. Can't you help me? Can't you name someone in this town who is known to be the most hard-fisted old miser in the place?
No.
There is this name, some Ronte or Orante? No. Jeronté, yes. Jeronté, that's my miser's name. I have it now. It's the old churl, I mean. Well, to come back to our story. Our people wished to leave this town today, and my lover would have lost me through his lack of money if, in order to wrench some out of his mother, he had not made use of a clever servant he has. As for that servant's name, I remembered well. His name is Scapin. He is a most wonderful man and deserves the highest praise.
Wretch.
But just listen to the plan he adopted to take in this dupe. I can't think of it without laughing heartily. He went to that old screw and told him that while he was walking about the harbor with his son, they noticed a Turkish galley, that a young Turk had invited them to come in and see it, that he had given them some lunch. And that while they were at table, the galley had gone into the open sea, that the Turk had sent him alone back with the express order to say to him that unless he sent him 500 crowns, he would take his son to a slave in Algiers. You may imagine our miser, our stingy old curmudgeon, in the greatest anguish, struggling between her love for her son and her love for her money. Those 500 crowns that are asked of her are 500 dagger thrusts. He can't bring her mind to tear out, as it were, this sum from her heart, and her anguish makes her think of the most ridiculous means to find money for her son's ransom. She wants to send the police to the open sea after the Turk's galley. She asks her servant to take the place of her son till he has found the money to pay for him. Money she has no intention of giving. She yields up to make the 500 crowns, 3 or 4 old suits, which are not worth 30. The servant shows her each time how absurd what she proposes is, and each reflection of the old fellow is accompanied by an agonizing, "But what the deuce did he want to go in that galley for? Cursed galley, oh, scoundrel of a Turk!" At after many hesitations, after having sighed and groaned for a long time. But it seems to me that, my story does not make you laugh. What do you say to it?
What I say? That the young man is a scoundrel, a good-for-nothing fellow, who will be punished by his mother for the trick he has played her. That the gypsy girl is a bold, impudent hussy to come and insult a woman of honor, who will give her what she deserves for coming here to debauch the sons of good families, and that the servant is an infamous wretch whom Jeronté will take care to have hung before tomorrow is over.
Zerbinetta starts to run off, but runs smack into Silvestro.
What are you running away to? Do you know that the man you were speaking to is your lover's mother?
I have just begun to suspect that it was so. And I related to her own story without knowing who she was.
What do you mean, her own story?
Yes, I was so full of that story that I longed to tell it to somebody. But what does it matter? So much the worse for her. I do not see things can be made either better or worse.
Well, you must have been in a great hurry to chatter. And it is indiscretion indeed not to keep silent on your own affairs.
Oh, she would have heard it from somebody else.
Aganté enters.
Hello, Silvestro.
Oh, go in there. My mistress is calling me.
Zerbinetta runs off and Madame Aganté enters fully on stage.
So you agreed, you rascals, you agreed, Scapin, you and my son to cheat me out of my money, and you think I'm going to bear it patiently?
Oh, upon my word, madam, if Scapin is deceiving you, it is none of my doing. I assure you that I have nothing whatever to do with it.
We shall see, you rascal. We shall see. And I'm not going to be made a fool of for nothing.
Madame Jeronté sees Madame Aganté.
Ah, Madame Aganté, you see me in the greatest trouble.
And I am in the greatest sorrow.
This rascal Scapin has got 500 crowns out of me.
Yes, and the same rascal Scapin had 200 pistoles.
He was not satisfied with getting those 500 crowns, but treated me besides in a manner I am ashamed to speak of. But he shall pay me for it.
And I shall have him punished for the trick he played me.
And I mean to make an example of him.
May heaven grant me that I do not catch my share in all this.
But Madame Aganté, this is not all. And misfortunes, as you know, never come alone. I was looking forward to the happiness of today, seeing my daughter, who was everything to me. And I have just heard that she left Tarentum a long while since, and there is every reason to suppose that the ship was wrecked and that she is lost to me forever.
Why did you keep her in Tarentum instead of enjoying the happiness of having her with you?
I had my reasons for it. Some family interests forced me till now to keep my second marriage secret, but what do I see?
Nerina, the nurse, enters and falls at Madame Jeronté's feet.
What? You here, Nerina?
Ah, Monsieur Madame Pandolf.
Call me Jeronté and do not use the other name anymore. The reasons which forced me to take it at Tarentum exist no longer.
Oh, alas, what sorrows that change of name has caused us, what troubles and difficulties in trying to find you out.
And where are my daughter and her father?
Your daughter, sir, madam, is not far from here, but before I go to fetch her, I must ask you to forgive me for having married her because of the forsaken state we found ourselves in when we had no longer any hope of meeting you.
My daughter is married?
Yes, madam.
And to whom?
Oh, to a young man called Octavo, the son of our Madame Argent.
Oh, heaven! where she is.
Oh, well, you will have to come into this house.
Well, you go in first. Follow me, Madame Aganté.
And the three of them enter the house, leaving Silvestro alone on stage.
Well, this is a strange affair.
Enter Scapin.
Well, Silvestro, what are our people doing?
I have two things to tell you. One is that Octavo is all right. Our Hyacintha is, it seems, the daughter of Madame Jeronté, and chance has brought to pass that the wisdom of the mothers had decided. The other, that the old men threaten you with the greatest punishments, particularly Madame Jeronté.
Oh, that's nothing. Threats have never done me any harm as yet, but they are clouds which pass away far above our heads.
But you had better take care. The sons may get reconciled to their mothers and leave you in the lurch.
I'll leave that to me. I shall find the means of soothing their anger.
Oh, go away! I see them coming.
And Scapin beats a hasty retreat as Madame Jeronté, Madame Aganté, Hyacintha, and Zerbinetta enter from the house along with Nerina.
Come, my daughter, come to my house. My happiness would be perfect if your mother had been with you.
Here is Octavo coming just at the right time.
And Octavo enters in haste.
Come, my son, come and rejoice with us about the happiness of your marriage. Heaven.
No, mother. All your proposals for marriage are useless. I must be open with you, and you have been told now how I am engaged.
Yes. But what you do not know...
I know all I care to know.
I mean to say that the daughter of Madame Jeronté...
The daughter of Madame Jeronté will never be anything to me.
It is she who
You need not go on, madam. I hope you will forgive me, but I shall abide by my resolution.
No, listen!
Be silent. I will listen to nothing.
Your wife?
No, mother, I would rather die than lose my dear Hyacintha. Yes, all you would do is useless. This is the one whom my heart is engaged. I will have no other wife.
Well, she it is whom we give you. What a madcap you are, never to listen to anything but your own foolish whim.
Yes, Octave, this is my mother whom I have found again, and all our troubles are over.
Let us go home. We shall talk more comfortably at home.
Ah, mother, I beg of you the favor not to part me from this charming young lady. She has noble qualities, which will be sure to make you like her when you know her.
What? Do you wish me to take to my house a girl with whom your brother is in love and who told me to my face so many insulting things?
Pray forgive me, madam. I should not have spoken in that way if I had known who you were, and I only knew you by reputation.
By reputation? What do you mean?
Mother, I can answer for it that she is most virtuous and that the love my brother has for her is pure.
Oh, it is all very well. You would try now to persuade me to marry my son to her, a stranger, a street girl.
Leandro enters.
My mother. You must no longer say that I love a stranger without birth or wealth. Those from whom I bought her have just told me that she belongs to an honest family in this town. They stole her away when she was 4 years old. And here is a bracelet they gave me, and which will help me discover her family.
Ah, to judge by this bracelet, this is my daughter whom I lost when she was 4 years old.
Your daughter?
Yes, I see she is my daughter. I know all her features again. My dear child.
Oh, what wonderful events.
Carlo rushes in. Hey, gentlemen, a most sad accident has just taken place.
What is it?
Poor Scapin.
He's a rascal whom I shall see hung.
Alas, sir, you will not have that trouble. As he was passing near a building, a bricklayer's hammer fell on his head and burst his skull, leaving his brains exposed. He's dying, and he has asked to be brought in here to speak to you before he dies. Scapin is carried in on a board by some men, with his head all wrapped up in a bloody bandage, as if he were wounded.
Oh, Oh, gentlemen, ladies, you see me. Oh, you see me in a sad state. Oh, I would not die without coming to ask forgiveness of all those I may have offended. Oh, yes, before I give up the ghost, I beseech you to forgive me all I have done amiss, and particularly Madame Argente and Madame Jeronté. Oh,
I forgive you. Die in peace, Scapin.
it is you, Madam, I have offended the most because of the beating with the cudgel, which I
leave that alone.
I feel in dying the most inconceivable grief for that beating, which
Be silent.
that unfortunate beating that I gave.
Be silent, I tell you. I forgive you everything.
Alas, how good you are. But is it really with all your heart that you forgive me the beating, which I...
Yes, don't mention it. I forgive you everything. You are punished.
Ah, Madam, how much better I feel for your kind words.
Yes, I forgive you. But on one condition, that you die.
How? Madam?
Retract my words if you recover.
Oh, all my pains are coming back.
Madame Jeronté, let us forgive him without any condition, for we are all so happy.
Well, be it so.
Let us go to supper and talk of our happiness.
And you take me to the end of the table. There it is that I will await death.
And Scapin whips off his bloody bandage and is carried off in triumph along with the rest as the curtain falls on the foolery de Scapin.
Oh my.
And let's take a bow. Everyone's hands up. And bow. Bravo, bravo.
Excellent.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. I guess we had a little problem on this side of the pond, didn't we?
The music doesn't come well.
England and France, that we had some hard connections.
I use a VPN and it gets in the way at times. So I had to restart and disconnect it.
I was playing the music directly into my mic. That's why there was no choppiness.
Oh, yeah. Good. Well done, everybody. That was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
You can see why these things were so popular.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can see the company of actors they must have had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Because there are so many, I can see the Scapin in every Molière play. The young girls,
That's right.
And he was
clever
brilliant.
servants, the miserly fathers. They're all based on the Commedia dell'arte.
Right.
That's right.
What's so interesting is how they're all related in the end.
Yeah.
My long-lost daughter.
It's the Deus Ex Machina. You know that.
But there is a Molière site where you can go and see which members of the company played which roles.
It's really obvious who played which roles. I mean, you can tell which roles Molière played.
Oh yeah, you've got and
his wife.
That's right. His young wife is usually one of the young female leads. Yeah. And the old maid like Marina, there was an old man in the company who used to play all the old
Pantalone.
Women. Yeah, he used to play the old women.
By the way, Angus, I sent you that Commedia dell'arte radio program. Did you ever?
Yeah, I got to listen to a bit. I hadn't listened to it all yet. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's got all the classic characters. It's got Arlecchino, Il Dottore, Pantalone.
Yeah,
Il Capitano.
We should do Goldoni's at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah. Now, Molière and Goldoni translate into broad Scots really well. And Feydeau does as well. Chekhov doesn't. Ibsen translates into broad Scots because I used to do these broad Scots shows in Edinburgh.
Huh. Okay.
Totally. I can't do them anymore because they're totally indecipherable to anybody. Because it really is almost like a different language.
Yeah.
Although
Excuse me, was I not there a lot? My connection faltered a lot?
Yes, it did, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but in the second act, in the third act, you were fine.
Yeah, it was great. I wasn't quite sure when I came back on whether disconnecting my VPN had made a difference or whether just being late in the day had cleaned it up a bit.
Okay, so first act was a problem as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would disappear, and I just assumed it was my VPN that was causing problems.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And I had problems with Drew as well. I worked out that when his face stopped moving, he'd probably finished saying anything. So I came in. But, you know, it gets tricky. It gets tricky.
It certainly does.
Well, I keep thinking when I lived on 116th Street, if I tried to do this on 116th Street, forget it, because the connection was absolutely appalling at the weekend, because they didn't have enough bandwidth, because it was, you know, it was Hispanic region and there wasn't enough power to force them to give decent service to them. So everybody would come on and download all their movies, and that was it. My connection used to get as slow as a very slow telephone line, and you couldn't do anything. You know?
We still have two attendees. I'm just promoting them so that if they have anything they want to say, they can. Well,
I'm thinking, Simone, this one was fairly short, relatively speaking, compared with your average Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I can see, the School for Husbands and the School for Wives are also fairly short.
Actually, the School for Wives is about the same length as Tartuffe.
Oh, that's not too bad then. That's not
it's a five.
No, School for Wives.
Yeah.
School for Wives is an hour and like a half, and there was no intermission. So I'm
okay.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
That's why I wondered whether it was worth putting the two schools together. I was trying to find a copy of the response that he wrote to the School for Wives, because when the School for Husbands was okay when it was done, there was a little bit of upset about it, but when he did the School for Wives, people got really cross about it, and he wrote a rebuttal or a sort of comment on it as a play. Well, they're all about
also the same year that he married his very young wife.
Ah, yeah.
So there was a lot of scandal about that.
Oh,
and they were
right.
saying, you know, his competitors, because his young wife was actually the daughter of his mistress.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of scandal. That this, of course, his competitors are saying this was his daughter. So that rose a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Although, guess who saved the day? It was King Louis XIV, who actually was godfather.
Yep.
And once the king said it was okay, it was okay.
Yep.
Nobody did. The king says it must be true.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I always find it interesting that the audiences were so different then than they are now. There are letters around from people who'd seen some of his plays in Paris, and they were so excited by them that they wrote to their families back home in the provinces, and they were able to write down, after seeing the play once, they were able to write down whole speeches that they'd heard. They were so impressed with it, you know, and their memories were so much better at retaining what they'd heard.
Bye, Leah. Nice to have you again.
Goodbye.
Nice to see you again, Leah.
Yeah, I should go too.
Okay,
great.
Thank you, Derek.
Great work, Derek. Thank you. That was good. That was brilliant.
If you want
were you able to hear it?
If you ever want to combine two short ones, Le Médecin Volant and the Cuckolded Husband are short ones.
Yep. Okay. I can try and get those. Yep.
Actually, those are two of the ones. I think I also sent you the Stratford Productions. Didn't I send
Oh,
those?
yeah, you might have done. Yes. I haven't gone through a lot of them yet. I've just been saving them and tucking them away until I spend so much time looking after the grandkids at the moment. It's driving me crazy. My wife's coming over.
How was it?
Oh, it's always the same, you know. They're now planning for secondary school for them, so we've got to get them ready for tests. And I've got a grand stepdaughter or a step granddaughter as well. And I spent the afternoon doing science quizzes with her.
Oh, geez.
You know, it's all good, clean fun.
Hope you're taking your vitamins.
Oh yeah. Well, since my leg's given out as well, I hobble round the place with this god awful stick. It's actually not bad. People get up in buses and give me seats. And,
that's nice.
And people stop at zebra crossings to let me get across, and as if I'm an old man, you know.
Little do they know.
Oh,
well, there is something. Well, tomorrow, if you're not busy, there's a new production on Drama on Radio 3, a new production of Dr. Faustus.
Oh, good. I'll have to record that.
If you don't, I will.
I can get it on iPlayer. Yeah.
How do you think this worked with the mothers?
Fine.
Actually, it worked fine.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was quite nice.
It is the problem with Molière is that I mean, if you look at the School for Husbands and the School for Wives, it's mostly about the men as well.
That's right.
The women are playing minor roles in it because they're.
I know. I got to change this all up.
But if it comes to stingy fathers, you can always change them to stingy mothers.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Only when it's husbands that are having problems with the wives.
Right.
You can't switch. You can't switch it around.
Yeah, it doesn't work too well.
No, but they're all. Those two were basically warnings. They were trying to encourage French men to start treating women properly, and a lot of people kind of objected to it. A bit in the classic tradition of not saying something was wrong, but presenting that behavior and letting people see that behavior was not appropriate. And that irritated a lot of the old establishment. And that was what he had to deal with.
Holding the mirror up to nature.
That's right.
There you go.
It's a great tradition. I mean, one of the local companies is doing a dramatization of Jerome K. Jerome's Three Men in a Boat, which I don't actually like.
A musical version?
No, it's just a straight dramatization of it.
I heard a great musical version with Kenneth Horne on the BBC.
God. Oh, wonderful! But I don't like it because what he does there is he makes you try and laugh at people, and I don't like that. I don't mind laughing with people, but I don't like people laughing at it. It's the same thing that Addison did with his Roger de Coverley stories back in the 1700s, to try and get people to understand how you should behave in public. He had Sir Roger de Coverley come up to London and behave like this totally idiotic boor in theatres. He'd stand up and talk to the players on stage and all this sort of carry on, and all done to show how you should not behave in public. And it's a sort of a British tradition, and I don't really go for it because I'm funny that way. But the Molières are good. Glad we're doing them. That'd be nice. Yep.
Paul, how was it? What did you think?